Adegolu with Global News. In the news, Tinubu returns to Abuja after COP28 in Dubai. The incumbent president is the presumptive Democratic nominee. Current opinion polls indicate a tight race between the two. Speaking with newsmen at a campaign fundraising event near Boston, Mr. Biden said if Trump wasn't running, he might not run for the second term, but he needed to protect democracy. He said the former president and his allies are out to destroy democratic institutions. Mr. Biden will attend a fundraiser on Wednesday near the White House and another on Monday in Philadelphia. Now, President Joe Biden has denounced the reported rape and sexual violence against Israeli girls and women by Hamas militants following the October 7 attack on Israel. The U.S. president called on the world to condemn such conduct without exception. Mr. Biden said female survivors and witnesses to the attacks have shared horrific accounts of unimaginable cruelty. He said reports of women repeatedly raped and their bodies being mutilated while still alive, women corpses being desecrated, Hamas terrorists inflicting as much pain and suffering on women and girls as possible and then murdering them is appalling. Israel has said it is investigating several cases of sexual assault and rape from the Hamas attack, with witnesses and medical experts saying militants committed a series of rapes and other attacks before killing the victims during the October 7 attack. In the meantime, Israel is being urged by the international community, including close ally, the US, to do more to limit civilian casualties. Hamas officials say at least 16,248 people have been killed in Gaza since the start of the conflict, about three-quarters of them women and children. Defending Israel's war strategy, former Prime Minister Naftali Bennett has told newsmen that Israel has been showing restraint in Gaza. He said if they wanted to harm civilians, they could have won the whole war in a day by indiscriminately bombing Gaza. You're on to Global News from Adaba 88.9 FM, Akure, transmitting from Ilaramoki. After the break, UK announces new aid package for Ukraine. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
The news on Adaba 88.9 FM.
Good to have you back. For news updates and live streaming, visit our website www.adaba889.fm or download Adaba FM app on Google Play Store. You can be part of us on our social media platforms www.facebook.com/AdabaFM88.9 on Facebook, at Adaba889FM on Instagram, and Adaba FM TV on YouTube. To provide us information, you can reach us via email newsroom@adaba889.fm. A man is presumed dead after his house in a suburb of Washington, D.C. exploded during a standoff with police. Authorities said James Yu was the sole occupant of his unit in a duplex house in Arlington, Virginia. Officers were called to the house on Monday after reports of someone firing a flare gun. Neighbors were evacuated when police approached the building, shots were fired, and the house exploded. 3 officers sustained minor injuries, but police said on Tuesday that no neighbors or bystanders were hurt, but about 12 homes in the surrounding area were affected by the blasts. Police are still investigating what caused the explosion. Meanwhile, UK Foreign Secretary David Cameron has announced a new winter humanitarian aid package for Ukraine, totaling almost £37 million. Cameron, on the eve of his first visit to the United States as Secretary of State, announced a new winter humanitarian aid package for Ukraine to the tune of £29 million, as well as a further £7.75 million for humanitarian activities to cover the needs of the most vulnerable in Ukraine. In the meantime, the Indian government has sought Parliament's approval for additional spending of 1.29 trillion rupees in the current fiscal year, mainly towards higher subsidies for farmers and the Rural Job Employment Program. The government said the net additional spending for the current fiscal year ending March 31 will be 583 billion rupees, while the rest will be accommodated by reshuffling expenses. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's administration said it will spend 133 billion rupees for fertilizer subsidies, while it will spend another 145 billion rupees for a rural unemployment scheme. Turkey authorities said on Wednesday it had captured the leader of a British gang involved in drug smuggling, illegal gun trade and robbery in an operation in Istanbul. Interior Minister Ali Yerlikaya said Sean Monaghan, leader of a gang operating in northeast England, was being sought by an Interpol red notice. Yerlikaya said Monaghan arrived in Turkey in October and the Interpol notice was published, and Turkish police had found Monaghan to be living in Istanbul's Fatih district and captured him immediately. Video published by the Interior Ministry showed narcotics police arresting a man in a hotel room. Yerlikaya said on social media that Monaghan's gang was involved in cocaine and heroin distribution as well as armed robbery. And now to end Global News, a recap of our top stories. President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday night returned to Abuja after participating in United Nations Climate Conference in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. U.S. President Joe Biden and his challenger Donald Trump have been attacking one another as the 2024 White House campaign heats up. Biden said the former president and his allies are out to destroy democratic institutions. And finally, UK Foreign Secretary David Cameron has announced a new winter humanitarian aid package for Ukraine, totaling almost £37 million. That's Global News as edited by Sunday Ajiboye. I am Titilope Adegulu. Thank you for listening. Good afternoon.